guys, we are going to be talking about our first impressions today. I've got some things that are good and some things that are bad, but we'll get into that discussion in just a moment. For those that saw, we finished last night and we are now on the in-game track now. Is this game free? It is free, but it is stupid in its monetization. And I know a lot of times the game will hide behind free-to-play and say, hey, we're free to play. We can do what we want to do. It's okay because the game is free. However, dude, stuff in this game is too damn expensive. What the hell? Not only is it too damn expensive, did you know, for instance, I wanted to test this out. I went and bought myself the paint for this piece of armor, okay? So I go over to customize, I hit Descendant skin, right? And then I go over here, I'm like, I'm gonna buy paint, right? Did you know that you buy paint and then you have to buy it again for another piece of armor? As in, if you buy, for instance, I bought clear bright white. I purchased it. I thought I was going to be able to now take that paint and go apply it to whatever I wanted to apply it. That is not the case. You then come over here and you have to buy the paint again for another piece of armor. Brother, that's terrible. And look, don't even get me started on the pricing of things in this game, man. Everything is so expensive. And look, I get it. It's a free-to-play game. The battle pass is actually priced normally. That's a normal battle pass price. When you get down into these ultimate descendant packages, dude, an ultimate bunny is 5,000. 5,000 of these, what are these calibers? That's $100. That is $100. Now, granted, you can go through the process of earning this stuff in game. Will it take you a lot of time? Yes. Yes, it will. Because if you come over here and you're like, hey, I want to make a descendant. All right. Let me make ultimate bunny. Dude, you're gonna have to collect the bunny code, this catalyst, the stabilizer, these enhanced cells. Now, what you need to really take note of each one of these items is look what each one of these items requires. Within these items, you have all these items required. Now, look, I'm all about the grind, and that's completely fine. And this is a free-to-play game, and that's how they get away with it, right? But what happens is as you're on this grind, right, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get my reptin and my ceramic and whatever else here, right? Suddenly, you're gonna be like, damn, I could go spend the next 100 hours getting these items, or I could just spend $100. And you know what? 100 hours may be worth that for you, and you may be completely fine with that grind. But here's the other problem. Once you obtain these items, you then have to do the research, and that takes 16 hours. So you don't even get the ultimate champion, the ultimate descendant, or any of these descendants immediately. You have to wait for the descendant to be crafted. Whereas if you buy it, you do get it immediately. I don't want to get too carried away with the monetization because it appears that I am in the minority and that this is an appropriate or at least the system that is in place. That's just the way things are. With all of that being said, though, let's talk about the core of the game itself. Is this game actually good, or is it going to die like so many have died before? I think there's been a lot of comparisons between what this game is. People are like, is it Anthem? Is it Outriders? Is it Destiny? I would say that it's kind of a blend of a lot of different things. It doesn't have the flying of Anthem, but it's definitely got these suits and stuff. Now, you don't have armor. Everything really comes down to your mods, right? These mods, and then you got your weapons and whatnot that you pick up, and you have infusion, and then you have mastery ranks and individual levels for your descendant itself. Mastery ranks is by far the most important because this carries over. Think of this as like a count wide or descendant wide level that makes a big difference in your overall lethality. But in terms of what the game is, I mean, it is a looter. It is a looter. You go out in the world, you kill things, you come back, you take those things, you upgrade it, amp it up, you combine it with certain builds. And yes, I will say one thing that this game really, really has going well for it is the variety of descendants here that are dope. That are truly dope. I mean, these descendants, they have clear, distinct differences in play styles that I absolutely fall in love with. I picked up Kyle, and at first I thought he sucked. I was like, dude, Kyle sucks. But then after building into his system, dude, he's such a tank. But even like, your base, your three basic champions that you start off with, like they're very, very good. Bunny has arguably the best had clearing capabilities in the game, and speed-wise, she's just so fast. But the Descendants truly carry. It almost reminds me of like Genshin Impact in a way, because people go crazy for the waifus, and also, you know, what was the fire husbando that I was grinding for? And it was like the first month that Genshin Impact was out. Everybody was going. Was it Darrell or Diluc? Diluc. I'm thinking Diluc. I'm sorry. This is Diluc. It's been a long time. I haven't played Genshin in years. Okay. The point is, there's going to be that same level of desire for these Descendants, except it goes further, because yes, the devs here are dipping into some other areas, because it's like, yeah, it's not just you getting a very good Descendant, but you can also get outfits like this. You see where I'm coming from? Look, when you have stuff like this, you don't really have to try hard to sell anything. It just sells itself. And look, I'm not like, this is too much. This is too much. I'm not saying I don't appreciate this, but in the middle of a heated gunfight, I can't have this much shaking in front of me. That's why I'm just like, dude, just give me one of the guys. Just give me one of the guys. That's too much. Dude, that stuff is going to sell. That stuff is going to print. And it is currently printing right now. And so you're going to have this huge desire for these different Descendants, because the Descendants are, you know, all of them are very, very potent, and you can earn them in game. But of course, once you get that super dope Descendant, you may have a fully kitted out Ajax, but you're like, dude, my Ajax, it may be better than this guy's Ajax. But does he look as good as this Ajax though? No. And so you're going to go over and you're probably going to buy this Ajax suit. And I will admit, man, I mean, it looks really good. Now, the game's campaign, which is what you're going to spend the first 20 hours, maybe 25 hours in. I'm just going to say, fellas, it is brutal. And by brutal, I mean not fun. A slog, a repetitive. It reminds me actually of like, take the most basic MMORPG out there, and you remember like the mission designs of like some MMORPGs you've played, where it's just like, hey, go kill 10 of these enemies, go kill 25 of these enemies, pick up these 3 items that they may drop. The same mission structure pretty much existed in this campaign for arguably 80% of the campaign. Now, there was a point in the campaign where the mission structure and the biomes really started to change. And I would say that's like way further in the game. And I appreciated that. I was like, wow, this is breaking things up. The voice acting at one point, yes, there was a lot of cringe voice acting, at least on the English side, the dub side. But
with my strength, I will pull everything towards me, even the final victory.
God, dude, can I make sure this guy doesn't fucking talk? There was one point where Eugen and all of them were talking, and I was actually getting pulled in. I was like, wow, this delivery here is actually really good. But for the most part, you are going to be doing the same activity start to finish in various different areas, and there is some biome changes there, so that does mix things up, but it is the exact same stuff. I have no problem doing the same stuff over and over, until you say, hey, do it for 20 hours to get through this campaign. That's where I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm not saying I would pay for it, because I don't like campaign skips. But in this case, I would be like, dude, can I just cut this? Can I just cut this in half? I would say the campaign experience here by no means is AAA quality. The audio mix design, terrible. Dude, the noise is so loud. The audio was messed up during the beta, by the way. But the audio mix design throughout the campaign is a buggy mess. You'll have many times people will get cut off mid-sentence when you don't even press skip. You'll have music still blaring when, like, after you've already beaten the boss and you're just trying to listen to the dialogue. Even the audio mix for your bullet sounds are really, really loud. And I know people are like, but there's an audio bar there you can move back that has no effect. At least here on PC, has no effect at all on bullet noises, and it's just so loud. And unfortunately, I had to turn off, like I had to bring SFX down really, really low, which hurts me everywhere else because I actually want to hear all the other things, but my gun noise is just so loud. That's the only thing that would tone it down. Again, this all just kind of points back to what the campaign experience is. The campaign experience is 20 hours of onboarding you to what you're going to be doing for the rest of your time here in the First Descendant, which is going to be you running those same campaign missions on harder difficulty, which I'm actually okay with because, you know, I like challenge. I like things that stress test my builds. It's essentially there to onboard you for the missions that you will be running later down the road. One thing I will give this game credit for, they literally voice acted everything. I mean, I was surprised by that because I definitely don't believe this is like some huge AAA quality campaign experience, but I got to give them credit. They voice acted literally everything from start to finish, and sometimes too much. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that. Sometimes though, I felt like there was too much dialogue. I'd be in the middle of my mission and like there's a whole damn book being read to me. I will be almost done with the mission and that dialogue that started at the beginning of the mission would still be going on. Again, I'm happy that they voiced everything, but it's a lot. As far as the world goes, guys, again, these are the different zones. They're all fairly good size. You know, when you land, you've got other Descendants running around doing things. I would say that the end game is going to be you running missions in these various zones on hard, which is going to be a lot more challenging. And then really the big end game is going to be you doing these void intercept battles on hard. So, and they are difficult. I tried doing Executioner last night. We got slapped around. We weren't, because not only do you have to survive and not die because you only have so many deaths allowed, but you have to kill that boss within a certain amount of time. These are very, very challenging for sure. And you got to have good kits, good builds, and a good squad because there are some mechanical differences here. But I really do. I think this is the highlight for me of the game is these fights here with the Colossi. And it's come a long way because I remember back in 2022 when we first played the game, the thing that we tested was the Colossi fights. And dude, they were just so janky, man. Everything about it. I know that came to like a core gameplay issue as well, but everything was just so jank. But the fights themselves just weren't fun. And that's when, like, you know, the devs pulled things back and cooked it for another, you know, what was that, year and a half, 2 years. But that's essentially the end game is, hey, you're going to go in these areas. You're going to change the world difficulty to hard, and you're going to go do various missions. And the good thing is that you can target loot. I think just about everything in this game. You could target loot just about everything in the game. You see the different items that are dropping from all of these. If you're trying to get a certain, you know, set of items, ingredients to craft a certain item, you can do so. But it seems like everything in this game is able to be target looted. So that is a good thing. And as far as like rarity goes, you know, you have your common drops and then you get into your rare drops here with these purples, and then you have the ultimate drops. And then above that, which is like the rarest in the game, I have not gotten, it's called Transcendent drops. And those are the rarest of the rare. But the good thing is, like, for instance, I just crafted these two ultimates. I can infuse these items up and I can bring them to my highest level, which all the weapons here caps out at level 100. And really the end game after that is going to be, hey, taking items, kitting them out with the best mods possible. And then after kitting them out with the best mods possible, upgrading those mods. And your Descendant yourself, you don't have armor that you swap out. You have these mods that you swap in and out. Upgrading these mods make a big difference in your lethality. And that's going to be the end game, guys. And it's going to be these little micro movements in your builds that will make you, you know, exponentially stronger and stronger. But you're going to have to be that strong if you want to go tackle, you know, void intercepts on the difficulty that it wants you to tackle it on, which is essentially hard mode. This game's going to be joining Anthem soon. But the way things like leave off, you know, there's a lot of setup for end game. They've got a roadmap. They've got mega dungeons coming. They've got dungeons coming. I mean, dude, they've got things there. Are we going to see raid level content here? No. I mean, maybe, but I haven't seen anything that's showing like what a potential big raid ever coming into this game. Does this game have crazy mechanics in its boss fights? No. You know, I think Hangman was the only one that was challenging enough where it was like, okay, we got to think a bit. But no, nothing's overly challenging there. I definitely would not put this game on Destiny's level in any shape or form. But this is also a new game. If a raid like Salvation's Edge was to drop on Destiny 1, week 1, no one would have been able to beat that damn thing. Hell, hardly anyone was able to beat Vault of Glass. If I was next on, if I was the devs, I would full send. And if I had a raid or anything like that cooking in the background, I would drop it. I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to stretch this out to December, that we have something there for, you know, the next season or whenever. I would drop it now. Because had Vault of Glass not dropped for Destiny 1, Destiny would have died for me. I was already getting bored of the game. I was like, all right. It's like, I've done everything. I did the campaign. I'm as lost as you are. And I just happened to be messing around on Venus one day, and I saw a fire team trying to open up this gate, trying to open up this doorway. And I helped them out, and boom, I found myself in the Vaulted Glass raid, and that changed everything for me. So far, guys, I will say, I think it's a beautiful game. It's fun to play. I've enjoyed it. I hate the monetization. I know it's a reality of free-to-play games, but I still hate it as I sit here standing in my sexy-ass armor. But I do hate it. The campaign is extremely long with repetitive activities. With that being said, if the gameplay itself wasn't fun, I wouldn't have made it 5 hours into the campaign. The gameplay is fun. And build crafting in this game is also very, very fun. I like the variety of ultimate weapons that are present. I'm excited to get some of the Transcendent weapons as well. I like the upgrading process of our different modules. I also like the mastery rank system. I think this game has, you know, a good core, actually genuinely good stuff. At the same time, I think Mega Dungeons being 6 months out is way, way too long, way too far away. And I think that Nexon needs to go ahead and move right now and drop some super in-game PvE stuff here and now. And that will be the activity that everyone's going to be building toward. Hopefully Mega Dungeon is going to be that challenging activity with it being 6 months out, but the sooner the better.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.